So, Richard, I'm very excited. Here we are with the first Italian edition of your last book that you wrote with Glenda, Bradstock and Owen Fitzpatrick, Thinking on Purpose.
Yes.
How did you come out with this idea of,
Well, a lot of my books over the years go by, even though I've written a lot of books, they're all very different. The Structure of Magic was a book that was about syntax and language. Frogs into Princes was to introduce people to the field of NLP and kind of take a little bit of a laughing look at psychoanalysis and psychotherapy, because even though we did things that were as crazy as them, our clients got better. And when I wrote the book, Get the Life You Want, it was so that people could have a way of looking up what was wrong with them and just changing that. It actually came from looking in my kitchen at cookbooks and going, wouldn't it be nice if you had a thing that said phobia and you could just get rid of it? Want to make a chocolate cake, you make a chocolate cake. And then I was sitting around and Owen said to me, he goes, what kind of a project do you think we should do next? And I said, well, what I'd really like for everybody to do is to get smarter. I think people suffer from a grandiose delusion of overwhelming understanding. When they don't really understand, they way understand. There are certain things you can do, even with the thoughts you already have, to know more. But if you have a machine that knows how to do something like memorize, how to get rid of bad memories, things that free up time and spend that time becoming smarter as a person, more motivated, all of the things that ultimately people come in and say are problems. They go, I have a lack of motivation. That's not really the problem. To me, that's just what they're doing. I wanted something where people could go and spend 15, 20 minutes a day and just do something in their head and end up a smarter person. And for 2 weeks. We also asked Glenda to help us, because Glenda knows what fuels the machine that does the thinking. Of all the people I've met in my life, nobody takes more or knows more or has given me more vitamins and supplements than Glenda. And
she cares.
Believe me, it worked on me. If it'll work on me, it'll work on anybody. I was a mess 10 years ago. And but one of the things that I've noticed is if you put the right fuel in a machine, it runs better.
Absolutely.
I had a car once that ran on high-octane gas, and they took away all the high-octane gas, and my car didn't run right. And the mechanic said to me, he goes, you have two choices. He says, you either change the carburetor or you put something in the fuel that adds more octane. And in this case, we're telling you how to put the things in your brain so it thinks better to start with. And some of those things are not vitamins. Some of those things are taking enough protein and things like that. And so, you have, it's a minor education in things that could be big. You could spend a lifetime studying nutrition, but most of the people that come to me just need a little boost. Yes. And if you have a little bit better memory, you end up down the road with a big memory. It's that old metaphor that you're going down the road and you make a small turn, and at first 2 days later, you're not very far in a new direction. But a year down the road, you're way far in a new direction. Right. So 15 minutes this day, 15 minutes this day, and it teaches you how to think on purpose. Because most people have thinking and remembering very confused. They go, I think I can't do it. And really, you're remembering you can't do it. And if you don't separate thinking from remembering, then what happens is you don't develop nearly as fast as you could. This is a book about getting smarter, which leads to personal freedom of choice.
And one of the things that I loved, it's actually the bottom line of the book, is that it's all about time and how well you spend it, basically.
Yes. The currency of living is the moments of how you spend your time.
Yes.
And the more time you spend just remembering the same thing over again, eats up a day. If you have one memory and it's an unpleasant memory or a pleasant memory, doesn't even matter, and you spend 3 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 4 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 2 minutes here, it adds up to an hour pretty quickly.
Yes.
And then it's 365 hours in a day, and 3,650, and it just keeps going on. And 30 years, you're talking 10,000 hours that you're having one thought over and over again. And that if you have another one that's 3 minutes, and then, another one that's a half hour a day, and one that's 15 minutes a day, it chews up time that you could be living exquisitely,
Yes.
that you could be having new thoughts. The title, Thinking on Purpose, is because if you change the way you think, it changes the way you feel, and therefore it changes what you're capable of doing. And if you can change what you believe on purpose, just go in and go bang and change a belief, then you're more willing to try with every fiber of your soul, so therefore you're more able to actually do things.
Yes.
I have a 48-year career of taking people who had given up and getting them to succeed by doing this. And this is condensed 48 years into 15 to 20 minutes practice a day. And so far, it seems to be working.
That's great. I had the
I
chance.
do notice it's a lot bigger in Italian.
We have more words, to say the same thing.
I don't know if that means there's more of a need for it, or it just takes a lot longer to say things in Italian.
Yeah, we tend to do it like that.
Right. And between all the extra words and the hand gestures, it could go on a lot.
That's right. And it costs more than...
Well, it should, because it's much more expressive.
Exactly. And actually, one of the things is that it's written in a very easy language. It's not like, jargon or this complicated stuff that people tend to do.
Some of my books are so technical that I use them as sedatives. NLP Volume 1, when people would come in and go, I'm an insomniac, I'd go, read this at night. And they'd come back and they'd go, I really slept good last night. Do you have any other books? And I'd go, okay, take this book. But this book was written in mind that I'm not writing to rocket scientists. I'm writing for everybody so that they spend less time reading it and more time doing what it says.
That's right, which is the important part as you teach every single day to us.
I try my best.
And you're doing that. So thank you very much, Rita. Really appreciate
Thank you.
it. Thank you.
And by the way, this is one of the translators of the book.
Oh, yeah. I just helped with the general editing, yeah. So that the NLP thing was good. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
All right, you bet.
Grazie.